Welcome back to TTTV. This is the second part of the three-parter for tonight's proceedings here in the Esports Mini League Asia and Pacific Series. We've just seen the first race of the night from the Singapore Grand Prix round the Marina Bay circuit, and it was won by Flying Finn for VSR, but he was chased down by Sinclair from TTG, who took second, with Blizzard in third, and Javier for Invate Racing taking fourth place ahead of Squeezy on penalties at the end of the race. It was a really, really good race we just seen out first time there, Alan, and obviously it's made a bit of difference in terms of the points. Visceral have now increased their lead, now on 279 points to TTGaming's 212. One Hub are in third place on 165, and Innovate in fourth place on 121. Second race of the evening, though, is here at Suzuka, and this is going to be a very fun race indeed. It's a track a lot of drivers do love. It's one of my favourite tracks, even though I hardly play on gaming on F1 anymore. That's why I stick to the box. But you've been out there often enough in these cars, Alan. What's the bits for the drivers to look out for?
This is my favourite track in the game. Well, in F1, in real life even as well. Suzuka, I love Suzuka. But yeah, Suzuka, it's a more wheelbase track. A couple of spots on the circuit can catch you out. You're looking at there's a little bump coming out of the final, the Casio Triangle, the final chicane. On the run to the line, there's a little bump to catch drivers out. The certainly slightly right hand turn and braking, you're going flat out towards the apex of turn one, and you're slightly turning while braking into two, can catch drivers out. The S section is an excellent section of track. It just tests every driver's ability, and I think every driver I know loves it. You come up to the Degnas then, Degna 1, Degna 2, again a fast flowing section of track. That then you see our first main overtaking point on the track is into the hairpin. Drivers going side by side, braking right into the hairpin. You got the run up the hill then towards Spoon and into, and I've seen drivers overtaking through Spoon before as well. And out of Spoon, then you got your run down to the famous 130R, which I think everyone likes to at least try the Fernando Alonso, if not successfully anyway, before you come back into the Casio Triangle and head to the line again. So it's a nice track, and it's seen a lot of action in esports and in real life. Think back to two specific races here in real life with Mr. Prost and Mr. Senna.
1989 and 1990 to be specific for that one.
The ones are right, yeah.
And then obviously the bit is interesting as well. Around this 3.609 mile track, 18 turns, the race lap record is a 1 minute 31.540 from Kimi Raikkonen when he was at McLaren in 2005. A lot of people might remember that race. I think he started somewhere like 17 for 18 from the grid. He passed the Renault Giancarlo Fisichella on the final lap. So it's one of the sort of classic races around here. But as you say, there has been plenty through the years.
It's seen downsides as well, unfortunately, in the sport, and Forza Jules, poor Jules Bianchi.
Yeah.
We can go back, I think it was in '89, the race we talked about with Senna. I think was on the practice on the Friday or else quali on the Saturday. I can't remember what driver it was, but was left at the Casio Triangle with his legs dangling out the front of the car. A bad crash as well. So it's seen its fair share of good and bad.
I don't remember that one, but we're going to jump on board for the qualifying lap now, and we're on board with Singapore Grand Prix winner Flying Finn in his Force India, heading down towards that tricky turn one. DRS wide opened over 200 miles an hour. Chucks it, and he doesn't even start braking until he's past the apex at turn one. Phenomenal speed through there, and then up through the SE section, turn 3, 4, just got to keep it smooth, got to keep it tight to the insides of the curbing as well as much as you can, and then heading up through Dunlop, which is where, as you just mentioned, Bianchi unfortunately lost his life in 2014, God rest his soul. and we head up towards the Degners, the end of sector 1, throw it into the first Degner, use the curb and the exit, down to third gear, got to be careful you don't go too wide as you go under the crossover, and then through the little right hand kink and then hard on the brakes, a little bit of a lock up from Flying Finn into the hairpin, he gets on the power, sliding his way out off the hairpin and then through this curved section heading up towards Spoon Curve. And this first part, double apex, is very quick indeed, down to fifth gear, just running it wide and then downshifting and turning at the same time, getting the power nice and early because this is the run up towards the finish line, up the hill towards 130R. We've already lost Lewis and Sinclair from the sessions, not good for them. Flat out through 130R, a lot easier nowadays than it used to be. And then pick your braking point around about 100 metres, clip the curb on the right, clip the curb on the left, on the power, avoid too much wheel spin over the wee crest, over the line, and it is Blizzard with a 126.3 who takes pole position. But look at that for VSR, 1-2-3 in qualifying, as half the field almost end up disqualified from the session. But that was a really, really good lap there from Flying Finn, but it's Blizzard who takes another pole position.
Yeah, VSR cementing their position in first, but qualifying's only half the story, you know, as well, so looking forward to the race. But here is the qualifying results. So VSR Blizzard in first, VSR Flying Finn second, Lambo's third, Squeezy fourth, Javier fifth, White Fountain sixth, Leaflow seventh, Doncool eighth, Victor ninth, Boar 10th, we've Louis and Sinclair, Louis in 11th and Sinclair in 12th, didn't set a time. And then disqualified in 13th we have Paul, 14th Magic, 15th Dainstar and 16th Ironics. So then those guys are rather out than that, obviously in the one-shot run.
Definitely so. We'll need to keep an eye on those guys outside the top 10 that did end up with no times disqualified for cutting out too much of the track or just running too wide with the track limits, to see what tyres they go on, because obviously the top 10, there's only 10 drivers set a lap time there, and what that means is all of them will obviously have to start the race on that qualifying tyre, which was the super softs. Now obviously, unlike a normal qualifying procedure, you're only doing that one lap, whereas in a normal qualifying for a league race you're doing an out lap, a flying lap and an in lap, possibly even two flying laps, so a little bit less wear on it. I can already see, if you look to the bottom right hand side of the screen, you can see a Haas there with yellow banded soft tyres on, so it'll be interesting to see. I think that might be Lewis for VSR. We'll have to look through the field once they're all ready.
It could be the red super softs on the McLaren behind it there, Andy.
We'll have a wee check and see. So the top 10 are on the super softs all the way down to Boar. Lewis is on those soft tyres, as is Sinclair in 12th place. 13th is Poe, and he's gone for the super soft, so he wants to get racy in the start of the race to get up those positions he's lost out by getting DQ'd in qualifying. And then it is Magic for Innovate in 14th, Dainstar 15th and Lyronics in 16th. They're all on the soft tyres now. They're likely to be the tyres we see through these 13 laps, super softs and softs. I'd be very surprised to see anything other than those through the race, but obviously if someone gets caught out in the first lap, you could see someone make an early pit stop and try to have to make them last as long as possible. Who do you fancy your chances round here? Obviously VSR are looking pretty strong here, Alan.
Yeah.
You'd be a brave man to count name out.
You will be, but Squeezy's always, when he's that close, he's going to try and throw his hat in the ring and give us best anyway, so he'll be thereabouts. Javier showed he can stay the distance as well in the last race and stuck on the back of the guys, so yeah, keep an eye on him as well. Then further back, Lewis has got a bit of a better starting position this time, so no trouble more, and then Sinclair we've seen last race as well. How well he done, so watch for him coming through. And Dainstar right at the back with Lyronics on the back row. It's a tight field, it's a quick field. The back two rows, or the back row of the grids, can benefit you here through the S's on the first time around, should anything happen between such a type of back grid through the S's first time around. So maybe they could pick up on anything that happens ahead.
Definitely so. They're coming round now through the final couple of corners towards the start and finish line to get ready for the Japanese Grand Prix. Second race of this evening. We've still got one more round to go at Abu Dhabi at the Yas Marina circuit. 16 cars. Can we get all 16 cars to the end of the race again? They all managed it in Singapore, and quite a few of them without any penalties at all. We're waiting for the lights to come on one more time. We all know what happens. They go out and then it's a waiting game to see when they actually go off. We're waiting for them, and we're underway for the Japanese Grand Prix. Who's got the best start there? Going up towards turn 1. Blizzard's got a good one there. It looks like Lambo's going to challenge his teammate into turn 1. Flying Finn able to hold that position. Squeezy's now going up the inside of Lambo. Oh, Squeezy nearly in the wall there. Collects it up very nicely indeed. He could get in. Lambo's ran wide there. Lambo getting wide. He's lost 2 places there to Squeezy and Javi. Coming up through the S's, we've got a Renault trying to go side by side with our Ferrari there. That was Victor coming up through the SE section. Further down through the field, there's still plenty going on as well. Poe's already up 2 places on those super soft tyres. Boar's down 2. We've got action everywhere. That's Lewis trying to go around the outside.
Magic flips the bucket against there. I think he's done damage there.
Let's have a look at the back of that Renault, see if we can see anything. Not noticeable on screen, but you can see Larinix going around the outside. Oh, the Renault gives him a little bit of a squeeze.
Yeah, they did see Carbon further play off the front wing of the Renault, so
here
you
goes
can see it's missing its left end play. Although it looks okay there, so.
Yeah. Poe having a go there. He was just having to defend from Bohr in the Mercedes there, coming up towards Spoon Corner, but back up towards the front of the field. It's Blizzard, but leading from Flying Finn in second, Squeezy up to third, Javier up to fourth, Lambo down from third to fifth, having got caught out going through the SE section. Then it's White Fountain, Reflow and Doncool, and look at this, they got Victor.
And that's brilliant, Andy. At the end of lap 1, there's not a car that has a 7 more than a second between them.
Look at this, so coming down the front straight, we've got 2x2 coming into turn 1. We've got a wide camera shot there. Lewis goes to the outside. Poe's going to go up the inside. Can he get the move done?
Poe's on the outside this time around. And he drops back in behind.
You have to coming through the SE section.
Having a look on the back of corner as well.
And I seen them going 2x2 towards turn 1. I was expecting that to end in absolute carnage for a minute there, but thankfully they all got through in one piece, so fair play to all the drivers involved with that one there. But coming through Degner section there, you can see Doncool, I think it was just up ahead, and Lewis is actually right on the back of Doncool, coming into the hairpin, a late lunge up the inside. Has the Salba seen him coming? He has. Gave him the space, a very late braking move there, but Lewis is through, and now Poe fancies his chances.
We're
on board.
Going to make a move into the sprint.
On board with the McLaren and the Super Softs. Doncool's run a bit wide there, but nowhere for Poe to go in that McLaren. Has to pull back in to the slipstream. Lewis has already managed to get a little bit ahead. Can Poe do anything heading up towards 130? It'd be a very brave move doing anything there. He looks to the inside, but Doncool covers him off. Can he make a late braking move into the Casio Triangle chicane? And Doncool takes to the defensive line there, but holds it well. Good move there.
Having a ball on Squeezy.
Back up front, there it is.
Pulls out, side by side towards turn 1. Squeezy has the inside line. Oh, kept it tight, close. And we're still side by side, touch wheels. Squeezy gets back in ahead, and Lambo's now going to have a look at Javier.
Doncool having a battle with Poe further back there, and he's managed to hold off the McLaren one more time. As one McLaren defends from a Mercedes, the other one's attacking a Salba and trying to keep a Renault behind him.
Javier looked like he clipped the grass in the background behind Squeezy there and caught it well.
That's another good save. He done one in race number 1 as well, when a little bit of contact with Squeezy put him sideways.
Yeah, it was an excellent save at Marina Bay. I remember that one yourself.
Lewis is starting to catch up to the back of White Fountain. He's got the 2 Ferraris ahead. Unlike in real life, Ferrari engine in the back of the Haas, there'll be no team orders in this one because that's VSR versus One Hub in that battle. But you can see Doncool starting to get a little bit of a train coming up behind him. Poe's there, Victor's not far off, Bohr, Sinclair, Danestar, Larinix and Magic. They're all pretty much within DRS range. DRS will be enabled at the end of this lap as well. Poe fancies his chances heading up towards 130R. Lewis has got past before 130R. Poe's not going to go the long way round, is he? He runs off the track. He's going to have to concede the position there because he'd have gained an advantage if he didn't. And he pulls back in, but he's
squeezy again. Is he going to have him work out into
Dainstar off the track there. Sorry, Alan. I'll jump to heavy real quickly. He's not able to do so. Dainstar went off.
He did have a quick look, but pulled straight back in the side behind squeezy there to turn one this time around.
We've seen plenty going on behind there. Dainstar got very sideways and off the track at one point. Poe's headed for pit lane, so I wonder if he's ended up with damage because of that. But it means that Bohr now leads this train with Victor, Sinclair, Dainstar, Larynx and Magic now.
And in the battle there between Innovate and One Hub, Innovate in the last race has closed the gap up a bit, and that Dainstar slide has put him back down the table a bit. It's going to be a good battle between them two teams as well, as they battle for points.
Definitely, indeed. It'll be interesting to see how they go through the rest of proceedings. We're already on to lap number 4 of 13. We're going to see a lot of pit stops. That standings is going to change as quick as a fruit machine on a Friday night in the pub. Before very much longer. And Lewis though in 7th, keep an eye on him. He's on the soft tyres, so you can go a little bit longer than the guys out ahead, and he's starting to close up to the back of Reflow very, very quickly. Sinclair's just got past Victor down below, but we're going to stick with Lewis going to the inside into the Casio Triangle chicane, and he's got the move done. Very nice move there, really late in the brakes, but got it stuck and done the move.
Javier and Squeezy, Blizzards. So the Flying Fiend stays out, Lewis stays out, Reflow stays out.
We've got action behind. That was, I believe it was Dainstar, possibly, was it? Yeah, it was Dainstar squeezing Larynx's Toro Rosso towards the side of the track. Don't know if he's seen him there or not. The Toro Rosso able to carry on as they move up the order with all the pit stops. And Magic is in between them because of all of that. Sinclair has managed to get himself 1.5 seconds up the road, but in front, Flying Finn staying out longer as he did last time round. Done that as well in Singapore to good effect. He's got his teammate for VSR, Lewis, in 2nd place. He's on the soft tyres, as I've just mentioned as well, with Reflow in 3rd position for One Hub in the Ferrari, and then Bohr in 4th for Innovate. He's got Sinclair right behind him though as they come up to the hairpin at the top end of the track, but nowhere to go. You can see Larynx in the background there trying to get a move on Magic. Magic sideways out of the hairpin there, manages to hold it. I thought he was about to get absolutely collected with a T-bone off Larynx there, but the Renault manages to hook it up there and avoid a big incident.
Had a looking cool skill, but thought better of it.
And there's Poe and White Fountain. There was Poe around the outside at the hairpin there. They got a little bit stuck together coming out of it, but the McLaren driver has got the move done there on White Fountain. And to what I caught at the end there, it looked like it was a pretty decent move as Flying Finn does come into the pits. So keep an eye on what he does. Lewis carries on into the lead. And Bohr's into the pits as Sinclair carries on those soft tyres as well. So Lewis leads from Sinclair 2nd, Dainstar 3rd, Magic in 4th, Larynx in 5th, and they were the 5 guys that all started on the soft tyres.
That's where Lewis again joins in with the likes of the Flying Finn here.
He's ahead. He's back ahead.
He's back ahead. So that could be ominous. The same thing happened in the last race when Flying Finn overextended him. Where he had TTG Sinclair closing at the end. He had the tyres to fight him. But on opposite stints this time, with Sinclair, if he comes back at the end of this race, is going to be on a better tyre compound, and that overextension could put the Flying Finn this time around.
The man that's lost out in the pit stop phase though is TTG Squeezy. You can see that Javi and Lambo have both jumped him, and he catches the gravel coming through sector 1 as well, so not good. He maybe got held up in pit lane. A yellow flag further back.
He's off the track, Reflow, and he's lost his front wing, completely lost his front wing.
That's at Degner 2.
Degner 2, he's going to have to limp that car back around to the pits there in the front wing.
Didn't see what happened, but that's not good.
Super softs back onto the car and go to the end. So
Definitely so. We didn't catch what happened there, but it's definitely not good for the Ferrari driver. That's going to drop him all the way to the back of the pack. He just came out of pit lane as well on a fresh set of soft tyres. I'm not sure what happened, so it's going to ruin his race.
Too hard on cold tyres, possibly.
We've got the battle here coming up to 130R. That's Bor getting the run on Victor in the 13th.
Have a look at Javier down the straight, the start-finish straight.
We jump to it. Can the force in? He's got his teammate ahead, holding him up.
His teammate might actually get him in his way here, and it looks like he has. His teammate has actually held him up there as he went to make a move.
Couldn't take the line he wanted to because his teammate got a yellow flag down below in sector 3. I think that's just because of reflow coming into the pits, and to compound his misery, a 5-second penalty.
Unlucky, mate.
Oh dear.
I've experienced that one myself. You brake where you usually would coming into pits, forgetting that you've no front wing, less downforce, and you're not going to stop in time. So.
Definitely so. Back up here towards the front though. Laranix, sorry, is right behind Dainstar. Obviously the top 4 still to pit. In fact, the top 5, sorry, have still to pit yet, having started on the soft tyres. So it would mean that Blizzard would retake the lead off the race. As here comes Laranix. He's going to look to the outside, heading up towards 130R. The two of them are side by side. This would be a very, very brave move if they can go through here cleanly. The Toro Rosso has to go off the track though to keep the place. Can he get by here? No, he cannot. And he has to concede and hold on for now. Sinclair into pit lane though for the Toro Rosso for TTG, as Dainstar pits as well, so that puts Laranix up into second. Lewis is still out in front though in his Haas, still to pit. Magic carries on as well. And Sinclair for super soft tyres. I'd expect the same for Dainstar as well. And just let the timings catch themselves back up, and we see where the battles are on track. Flying Finn's within touching distance of his VSR teammate. Yeah, Lambo on the back of Javier will stick with this battle because I don't expect the Flying Finn and Blizzard to be fighting each other too hard, and we can see them just up ahead as well. So we'll stick with their teammate, trying to get past the Innovate driver. Javier's impressed me here this evening. Some really consistent driving, some good saves.
And Victor down the back in a three-way battle as well. We'll keep an eye on this one.
I'll let you keep an eye. Just if you see anything really good, just jump in. We'll stick with Lambo at the moment. Oh, jump back to him there just as he nearly went into the back of the Mercedes there, as he really is pushing it. So we try to keep in touch with all the battles going on. We'll jump back to that one, up to the hairpin bore, locking up. Dainstar's right behind him, but he's unable to do anything at the moment.
He's got a nice drive out of the hairpin now. Can he get a move into Stone?
Be a brave move to do that one. He thought about it.
Yeah, he did.
He had
just
a little
needs to be clever here. Dainstar, he's on the better third compound than the two guys ahead, so just needs to pick his time and possibly under there.
Lewis and Laranix have came into the pit lane. We're on to lap number 9.
Leno ran wide there, Victor ran wide.
Just caught the end of that, so that's cost him 2 places.
130R, it cost him, he ran wide through 130R and the exit of 130R, so we just have to let the two guys back through before he pull back onto the track.
And Squeezy's managed to stay ahead of Lewis, who's just came back out of pit lane having pitted. Laranix is still in pit lane and dropping down the order. He's down to 13th.
He's coming out, he's dropped perfectly into the middle of this battle, so it's a 4-way instead of a 3-way battle now back here. As Dainstar gets a time penalty and slides across the apex of the corner, should we say?
Sneaked his way up the inside there. We got a penalty for his troubles. He won't be too tough for that one, I'm sure. Sinclair up ahead is on the back of White Fountain as well, so there's plenty of action going on all over the place here as Flying Finn moves up into the lead of the race. Magic's losing ground, and the Renault is struggling on those older tyres, and the two VSR bikes fly by coming out of the hairpin. The Renault catching the grass there into Spoon Curve, so they've not had to wait until the pit stop phase for the Renault.
Right on. White Fountain here. Expect tuck in behind through Spoon, and we expect under the slipstream on the run down to 130R here.
Javier's got by as well, so he's into third. I'm expecting Magic to pit Lambo up the inside. Needs to be careful. Touched. Contact there between the Force India and the Renault.
The outside through 130R. They hold it nicely around my foot, but that's tucked back in behind the Casio triangle.
Just trying to keep up with everything here. There's just far too much going on in this battle as Lewis has moved up to fifth.
Have a go. White button on the straight, the start finish straight under DRS, the most useless DRS ever. And he gets the move done before turn one, so that's Sinclair up another place ahead of White Fountain.
Good move there, he needed to get that one done as well. There's plenty going on. Larynx with Bohr here, coming out of turn number 2. Danestar's not too far ahead of him, obviously, to come through the SE section, but up front, Flying Finn is in the lead of the race one more time, with Blizzard playing the rear gunner role in second, but Javier is within touching distance of Blizzard as well. We're watching Larynx in 12th, trying to get past the Mercedes of Bohr for 11th place. Every point counts, remember, in this Esports Mini League series, and especially in the battles going on. Innovate want as many points as possible as they try to catch up to the pack ahead. The one hub, Larynx goes to the inside. It's a very late lunge. Luckily the Mercedes seen him coming. Slight touch, got it slowed down. Now it's a drag race towards Spoon. And the Larynx is going to have the inside line, but he's got to go the longer way round at the moment. And he's had to pull back in, so the Mercedes got some good speed there. Coming up, Javier's got going by Blizzard as he come out at 130R. Can he get moved on into the Casio Triangle chicane? No. Blizzard pulls back in and takes the position. He's right there, though. He's going to have DRS, but so will Blizzard. Coming down the front straight, we're on to lap number 11 of 13. Not long to go in this race. Lewis in behind them.
Even so far for Javier.
He's been doing really well, but he's not able to get close enough at the moment as Blizzard actually runs wide, coming out of the corner, and Javier's now got the outside, now the inside. They're going through the S's. Oh, he's off on the gravel, a little bit of a bump. That was a bump there. I'm sure the Spaniard won't be too chuffed with that, and all that's done is put Lewis up, and Lambo's about to go around the outside up through the Dunlop curve, but Javier's having none of it there, and I'm sure the Spaniard's not going to be too chuffed with that one at all, but he manages to hold on to 4th place for the meantime. It's VSR 1, 2, 3, and they're basically running in formation at the moment. Who's going to do anything? Blizzard goes into the lead of the race. Lewis round the outside, so Flying Finn's going to drop behind Javier sideways.
Fighting to keep the 4th VSR driver behind them now. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4 for VSR cementing there.
This is a 1, 2, 3, 4. This could be the end of the who's going to win it anyway, but there's still plenty to fight for. Jump back down the field. Danestar in 10th, Larynx in 11th. Bohr's not too far behind in 12th as they just calm down a little bit. We're actually going to jump back to Lambo, who's right behind. His
teammate Paul as well.
I wouldn't expect too much going on there. I expect them to probably get out of the way of their teammate who's on the softer tyres. On to the penultimate lap, Paul gets a 5-second stop goal for exceeding track limits. That'll be added to his time at the end of the race as Lewis moves into the lead of the race. He is on those super softs, so the VSR boys playing the team game here, not holding each other up. I'm sure hopefully the TTG boys will be doing the same as well. Paul should just keep out of the way there. Javier is right behind Flying Finn. He's fighting this battle all by himself, and he's doing the best he can, but he's just got a bit sideways and squirrely there through the S's, and Lambo.
Lambo down onto the gravel. He held it well, Lambo, and kept it going.
He has indeed. Javier gave him a squeeze, and speaking of squeeze, Squeezy's coming up behind them. There's a pun for you. Sinclair right in the back of Paul. Oh, I'm good for puns. Paul gets out of the way as expected. Let's say Sinclair by. He is on the faster tyres. Meanwhile, White Fountain, Danestar and Larynx are having a bit of a fight coming up to the hairpin. Danestar goes past the Ferrari, and Larynx is going to go round the outside on those fresher tyres, and he's got the move done. That's a lovely move there from the Toro Rosso driver. Danestar much quicker out of Degner 2, and Larynx took in full advantage round the outside into the hairpins. Fresher tyres did help him. White Fountain looks to the inside and Spoon, but not able to get the move done there. But that was a really nice move from Larynx round the outside.
He went through Spoon last time there, and he's pushing it to keep it new on them soft tyres. He's caught the grass 2 or 3 times. Just he needs to be careful, because you catch it one too many and it'll just suck it in and into the wall and let your race over.
Larynx right behind Dainstar as well as we go into the final lap of the race. Javier, oh, he's just caught the back of Flying Finn. That's going to be wing damage there into turn 1. Could cost him a 4th place possibly as well, because that's going to cause him to struggle badly going up the hill. Larynx has just gone round the outside of Dainstar into turn 1. The Salba's coming back up the inside though, and they now head towards the S's wheel to wheel, and Larynx has got another move done. And Javier's dropping by. I just caught the end of it.
Javier now as well.
I'm sure there's wing damage.
Nearly hitting the back of Javier. Lambo doesn't want to give himself wing damage and then throw away the chance to get that position.
Yeah, exactly. But when we caught the end.
He's battling well, and that's a good defensive move out of the corner there.
Definitely. I'll let you get your pen and paper ready.
This is where Lambo's going to struggle now, is on straight lines. When we Javier's wing, you'd throw through corners, but you'd have more speed in the straight lines through less drag.
He's going to probably struggle going through 130R. This is the final lap. Javier struggling. We caught the end of it. He's pulling to the inside. He's trying to break the draft. He's far enough ahead. Poe's left the session. That's going to cost TTG points. Lambo's going to look to the inside. Going into the final corner. Can he get the move done? He's side by side. He does do. It's Lewis who wins from Blizzard and Flying Finn. Flying Finn's crashed at the final corner. He's out the race. He's collected the pit wall. He's took half of them with him.
Javier, yeah, he's collected Javier as well.
Unbelievable, he caught the pit wall coming out of the final corner and he's crashed out, and that means he's retired from the race. Blizzard takes second, Sinclair takes third, Javier's crossed the line in 4th and has just been collected by a cell by Donko. Lambo got 5th, Squeezy 6th. We've got a very expensive car park now down the front. Squeezy 6th, Larynx 7th, Dainstar 8th, White Fountain in 9th, Borin 10th, stuck in that mess, Victor 11th, Poe 12th, but he ghosted out at the end of the session, so that's not going to count. Donkool 13th, Magic in 14th, and Reflow still heading towards Spoon Curve, quite a way from the line. He's going to finish 15th place, but unbelievable Flying Finn at the final corner with a checkered flag in sight crashes out at P3, catching the pit wall on the right hand side. Amazing scenes here at Suzuka, but it's still a 1-2 for VSR. It might not make much difference in the full end of things at the end, but what an amazing bit of action there. I did not expect to see a huge crash right at the finish line.
Whether did I, Andy? That was...
And I found the reason. Flying Finn's just jumped in the chat there on the stream. He was too busy watching what was going on behind, and he didn't pay attention to what's in front. So fair play to admitting to that one. I'll give you that one, Flying Finn. You admitting to it. He just says he was watching behind, and that meant he wasn't looking where he was supposed to be going. And that bit there as well comes downhill. You get a little bit of a crest where you can just get a bit squirrely, and that pit wall there where the entrance is, you can really thump it, and that's exactly what he's done. Could have had a VSR 1-2-3. Instead it's a 1-2 with Lewis and Blizzard, and Sinclair takes his second podium of the evening. So doing very well for TTG. We'll run through the standings. I will let you take down the points, Alan, as we go through. So it is a phenomenal race, some really good passing and an amazing finish, but it's Lewis who wins from Blizzard in second. It's a Haas 1-2 with Sinclair in third for TTGaming. Javier, having got caught up in that, takes 4th in the top 4, no penalties at all. Lambo in 5th with Squeezy 6th, Larynx in 7th, he picked up no penalties either. Dainstar 8th, White Fountain 9th, Borin 10th, Victor with no penalties 11th, Poe classified 12th, but he wasn't in control of the car, we've got to be honest, so that's not going to count. That'll move Donkool up to 12th place and no penalties. Magic up to 13th, Reflow will be 14th, and Flying Finn crashing out at the final corner 200 metres from the line does not score. A phenomenal end to the race. Obviously VSR still take a 1-2 and they took 5th with Lambo as well, so it could have been a bigger loss if it had been a lot closer, but I did not expect to see that. But fair play to Flying Finn for being honest and saying that he was looking behind, because a lot of people would have said something else, so I've got to respect him for being completely upfront with that one there. I'll let Alan catch up with the points. We've still got one more race to go this evening. It's the Yas Marina circuit at Abu Dhabi. We're going to keep this stream live just now until Alan's finished up, and then we'll end this stream and start a fresh one for Abu Dhabi. But phenomenal racing with some really good passing as well. Remember Larinax putting a few good passes on, one round the outside, which I believe was on the Ferrari of, what's the other Ferrari? Can't remember who it was now, they've left the session anyway. Went around the outside of Herpen on one of the Ferraris, and then around, I believe it was Danestar, into turn one, using the DRS to his advantage. So some brilliant passing and an absolutely amazing ending that we did not see coming. You could have put a crystal ball on that one and you would not have expected that one to have happened.
Definitely not. Which is in 2 seconds. Final tallies.
Yeah, no worries. Just hold off, obviously. Depending on how this goes, it could be VSR might just about, not maybe mathematically, but could maybe just have this wrapped up to add to their European series. But we're obviously going to wait until the end of Abu Dhabi so we can give you all the proper scores. But obviously there's still plenty going on further down as well. One Hub innovating their TTG in second before the start of this race.
So, points after round 5 then is VSR are on 342, TTG on 261, One Hub Racing on 206, and Innovate on 168.
There we go, VSR 342 points to TTG on 261. So we'll need to do some maths to figure out if it's mathematically over, but I'll do that off the stream because I am not clever enough to do it off the top of my head quick enough. We've got one more race here tonight. We're going to end this stream here. We'll be back in a couple of minutes' time here on TTTV for the final race of the evening at Abu Dhabi's Yas Marina Circuit. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back in a few minutes.